The big flavor in Jammu and Kashmir and in the northern part of the country right now is still very much India's war readiness against Pakistan. The two sides have spoken. There is a ceasefire understanding which has just been extended for a few more days. But the mood is of war, and India's posture is of even more punitive strikes should Pakistan provoke or escalate even in a small way. Well, look at the images of what India has proven with just a few strikes lasting just about 23 to 30 minutes overall. Whether it is air bases, whether it is terror camps, whether it is seminaries in places like Muridke and Bahawalpur, whether it is Pakistan's most strategic, protected, valued and prestigious forward air bases like Sargoda or Chaklala or Skardu or Rafiki or Murid or the Malir cantonment or Sialkot, they all bear signs of Indian damage inflicted on them. No longer is India fighting a narrative war. We're speaking with high-resolution imagery which nobody can argue with. But for a moment, think how difficult it must have been for pilots to get into fighter aircraft and deliver weapons with such devastating accuracy, viewer. It's not easy at all. It's one of the most complicated, ambitious, dangerous, risky, and audacious military operations ever conducted from the air and ever in a non-war scenario. So on India Matters tonight, I want you to listen to someone who, as a fighter pilot, has trained for missions of this kind, has flown fighter aircraft on training missions, simulating attacks precisely of this kind, and knows more than a thing or two about what it takes to get these right and how things can go horribly wrong as well. Air Marshal Anil Khosla used to be Vice Chief of the Air Staff. He's a veteran fighter pilot and one of the most respected voices from the Indian Air Force veteran community. Air Marshal Khosla, welcome. Good to see you again. We are a full week and more after Operation Sindoor began. But like I was just telling our viewers, Air Marshal Khosla, India, the Indian Air Force especially, continues to be on absolute scramble alert, as rightfully it should be, given we are dealing with a country that we simply cannot trust. What does it take, as an opening comment from you, Air Marshal, to conduct such accurate airstrikes? Give us a picture from beginning to end, from the choice of targets to actually getting it right.
Shiv, thank you for giving me this opportunity, and you have seen the whole action from the ground zero, and very valuable inputs you have been giving us from frontline. Yeah, so India has conducted Op Sindoor, and the sentiments of the country were totally against Pakistan because of the heinous crime they committed in a very, very, inhuman way. And I think whatever India's response was very, very legitimate.
Yeah.
So like you brought out, like this sort of action where 9 targets were hit, 9 terrorist camps were hit of different type, different depth, different location. Some are headquarters, some are training grounds, some are logistics, some are launch pads. It takes a lot of planning. I remember during Balakot only 1 target was hit, and the amount of planning which went on, and now 9 targets were hit. So there's a whole lot of work goes on about 8 or 9 verticals. So we'll start with, the choice of target. Whether you want to give a rap on the knuckle, or you want to give a punch on the nose, or you want to give a bloody face, depending on what response you want, you choose the target. And also, so that legitimacy is there. So in this case, the terror camps were hit, where trained terrorists were there, known that they were going to create problem in future in India. Also, these are the headquarters which control the anti-India activity. So the message was very, very clear. Yeah. So that's why these targets were chosen. And India's patience has run out. The proportionate response was indicated by the number of targets. It then comes, at a slightly lower level planning, where once you have decided the target, you want to decide on what sort of damage do you want to create. So target is analyzed in a big detail. Even the construction of the target is discussed in big detail and considered. And the term called as weapon to target matching is done. What sort of weapon to use. Of course, in this case, all precision weapons were used. Once again, a very clear message that, wherever you are, we are going to hit with precision.
And Marshal, sorry to interrupt you. I just want to ask you one thing. the commanders, the pilots firing these weapons would have known exactly where these weapons were going to land. Like, for example, in some places they've banged into a hangar. In Sargodha, it's right in the middle of the runway. So it's not random. It's not you're firing a missile in the general direction of the base. You know exactly what you're going to hit, right?
Exactly. I mean, it is very precise, and that's why I said precision weapon, and the pilot knows. You know, the earlier technology used to be where the pilot is guiding the weapon till it hits. Then the situation came that they became quite autonomous. Now the aircraft systems are so, the computing power of the weapon control system is so advanced that you just designate the target, designate the weapon, and you can forget about it. When it comes in the range, it will go, and it goes very, very accurately. It's got multiple navigation systems in it. So the weapon systems are advanced. But the pilot's role is definitely very, very, stressful, and a lot of planning has to go. And the pilot goes that sortie million times before getting into the cockpit. He goes through the actions, he goes through the modalities, he goes through the full routine. Yeah.
You oversaw, you were one of the senior officers overseeing the Balakot bombings. You know, as a pilot, you have done weapons releases as well. So you know what it's like to be in a cockpit when weapons are released. I want you to just tell us a little bit about that, because people are dying to know about that, Air Marshal Khosla. What would have been the emotions or the mental picture inside a cockpit for such a mission? What would pilots have been going through? I mean, they are amazingly professional. They're not going to let stress get the better of them. But these are dangerous missions. What would have it been like in a cockpit while releasing a BrahMos or a Scalp towards Pakistan?
Yeah, so Shiv, let me tell you two things about this. One is, when you're in the cockpit and when you're going for a weapon release, that Arjun Wala story, I remember, you've totally focused on this thing.
Yeah.
You're in whatever is going on in your mind is that I'm going to release this weapon. The weapon should go and hit where is it intended to. So the full focus is on that. Nothing else is in the mind. So whatever actions you are doing, whatever you're trained for, whatever systems operation you have to do, whatever aiming you have to do, I mean, it's all focused towards one aim. That is the weapon which I'm releasing should do its work. It should go and hit exactly where I'm intending to hit. Number two, which thought goes on is that, the full concentration should not be on that. Your survivability also is very, very important. So you are on the lookout, peripheral vision, whatever you want to call it out, your systems to see that you are not harmed while doing all this, that you're not totally 100% concentrating only on weapon release and there's something else happening which can endanger you. So these are the two major thought processes which are going in a pilot's mind.
One of the most viral comments that came in from the DG Air Ops at that briefing, Air Marshal, and I'm sure you heard it as well, is when he said, our job is to hit the targets, not count the body bags or the body count. That's such a wonderful, evocative line, from a professional soldier. As a professional soldier yourself, explain to our viewers what that means. It's my job to fire that missile, not to look at how many people it has killed.
Yeah, same debate went on in Balakot also as Vice Chief at that time, and as a DG Air Ops also in 2015-16. And I've been saying this, that Air Force job is, Balakot, a lot of criticism came on, why not Air Force refuting this, why not Air Force we said exactly the same thing, that our job is, in slightly different words, that our job is to deliver the target, deliver the weapon onto the target and hit the target. Our job is not to give proof to anyone and everyone that how many terrorists were killed or how many body bags were created exactly. And this time it was, very, very clearly enunciated by DG Air Ops Marshal Bharti, and good show. And it left no doubt in anybody's mind.
Yeah.
But obviously, you're creating an effect. The hit which is doing, you've been given a job to create an effect, send a message, and you're doing that. How many body bags, how many killed, how many terrorists killed, depends on the end which is available, and it's a fair guess. You can't waste your effort and equipment and energy and your money on ascertaining how many have been killed.
Correct.
That's not the primary job of the Air Force. Yeah.
Final couple of questions, Air Marshal Khosla. You were in charge as Vice Chief when the Balakot bombings happened. Nobody has any doubts. We certainly have no doubts about the success of that bombing operation on the Java top in Balakot. But we all know that it became a mess of claims and counterclaims. imagery wasn't as clear as what we are seeing right now. Have there been certain lessons? Was Balakot a learning experience, you feel, in how we are seeing very, very clear and visible damage across those different bases now?
Definitely. And, Balakot, we relied on one or two methods for getting a damage assessment. Maybe we should have catered for more. And they didn't work because of some technical reasons and because of the weather and other aspects. And the whole debate started. And in such skirmishes like now, also, the whole debate is going on a tangent, success, not success, who asked for ceasefire first. And I mean, look at the bigger picture. I mean, that is the main name. And what happens is in the media war, pardon my saying that, or the social media war, that is the correct word actually,
Yeah.
bigger picture gets suppressed. Having said that, in any case, we have learned a lot of lessons in this case, if you see the multiple ways the damage assessment has come out in the social media. One is the weapons which are being released. They themselves are giving you video and pictures, feedback. The aircraft is satellite imagery is available, and best part is Pakistan social media themselves is giving us all the battle damage assessment. So that is the beauty of it with the social media infiltration and not infiltration, proliferation.
Yeah.
So they themselves are giving us all the pictures and videos of the damage carried out at various places.
Well, it's really good to hear from someone who was in the hot seat during Balakot. Talk about the learning experiences. Let me say it once again that nobody in their right mind has any doubts about what India achieved in Balakot. That was a 100% successful mission. In terms of the narrative war, surely there were some areas that we needed to improve upon, and I think we have done resoundingly well this time. Remember, it is the same Air Force that Air Marshal Khosla has mentored himself. Many of the younger officers of that time are in the hot seat now, and therefore, with each and every one of the images that you see on your screen right now, whether a runway that has been destroyed or a hangar that is in ruins or a radar facility that is in flames, well, this is an India that listens to what its operations mean and improves with each passing hour. The Air Force is on alert, it is ready, and make no mistake, viewer, if Phase 4 of Operation Sindoor needs to happen, it jolly well will. Air Marshal Khosla, always a pleasure, sir. Thank you for being with me here on India Matters. Well, that's a wrap on tonight's show. Thanks so much.